band, lodge, or associated group or body. Now here are your hosts, brothers Darren Kellerman and Alex Powers.
Hey, brother.
Hey, brother. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. It's been another week. What's new? I feel like I haven't talked to you as much recently.
It's been a busy week being broadcast live here May 13th, 2026, episode 7 of Hey, Brother. And I had a great experience this week. And
Okay.
I guess it's a unique one. For those that don't know, I am a law enforcement officer. And several years ago, I was invited out to McPherson Police Department because they were doing a memorial ceremony out there. And the police chief at the time was Brother Robert McClarty. And he was starting, at least I think he's the one that started the memorial ceremony there. He's the one that really expanded it, brought in an honor guard and all sorts of stuff. And that was all great. And a bunch of Masons who were police officers were involved in that. Then when Rob went on, he retired from McPherson, became an instructor at the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center, the police academy, if you will. And he brought the Police Week memorial ceremony to the police academy. And it's just a beautiful thing. And I was so honored he invited me that first year. And even after Rob retired from the academy has invited me back for the last several years.
Nice.
Which is great. And I get to do my little thing there. But the cool part is also in attendance is the Grand Piper of Kansas, Kelly Long. And he is not a law enforcement officer, but he is a very, I don't know, proficient's the wrong word, but just very sought after bagpiper. And he comes in, plays Amazing Grace, does a whole thing. There he is right there from the academy the other day. And it was a great honor to be there at the Law Enforcement Academy with all of these young officers and the Grand Piper of Kansas. And of course, nobody knows that Kelly and I are Masons. I mean, if they pick up on some of the stuff we wear, they would know. But the ceremony started by another Freemason. And it's just one of those things that I think of, that a couple of Freemasons from different parts of the state, giving a little bit of influence possibly to these young officers in this week of remembrance for fallen officers. Also occurring, though, back in McPherson, and it was this morning, Wednesday, May 13th, the police chief there that took over after Rob is Brother Michael Golden, and he has continued that ceremony. Also there is Brother Patrick Carr, and I'm going to forget the other Masons that are there in that department, but they do a beautiful ceremony every year, remembering the two fallen officers from McPherson, the two night watchmen. One was shot and killed, and one died of a heart attack after wrestling with and taking into custody two guys. So great story there. But every year, in my opinion, because of these Masons, this is remembered, and it's really been a big success in that community. And there's no advertised Masonic connection, but if you know, you know. And that's, to me, what makes it so special, is these guys are influencing their communities just by doing what we do. So
I love that. That's fantastic, man.
But I really had a good time with Kelly yesterday. We came and we ate in the cafeteria with the recruits and some of the instructors, and we just had a really good time. And so just another one of those Masonic experiences that just comes out of nowhere that we do all the time. So
hey, we're everywhere.
We are. We really are. And this past year, for those that don't know it, our grand treasurer is a law enforcement officer, and he went from being a sitting sheriff, and he wanted to do something a little bit different, and he is now a highway patrolman out in western Kansas. We've got several Masons around the state that are highway patrolmen, sheriff's deputies, police officers. I mean, we do everything. We got ambulance.
You guys should look at doing like a law enforcement type lodge or something.
You'd think we would have one of those out there. Cole Presley was involved, as was I, in Justice Lodge, the founding of Justice Lodge. It's an affinity lodge for law enforcement. Anybody can attend affinity lodges. That's a common misconception with the, I think we got 4 in Kansas now, affinity lodges. Anybody can attend. Membership's restricted, like for Justice Lodge. It's to law enforcement related people. Kelly, along the Grand Piper, is a member of Caledonia Lodge. It is a lodge for, I'm going to butcher it, but basically, I don't want to say Scottish music aficionados, but that's what it is. And you pretty much have to play a bagpipe or a drum to get into that lodge or learn one. Also required in the uniform there is the kilt. And Caledonia Lodge, the history for Kansas AF and AM is because of Caledonia Lodge, we have an official Grand Lodge of Kansas tartan, the kilt pattern, and it's a registered pattern. So
very nice.
A lot of people don't know that. It's one of those little hidden things, but if you ask them, they'll be proud to tell you.
Do you know if any other Grand Lodges have that?
I don't know that they do here in North America.
Interesting.
I know Kelly and I had been talking about doing an article for the Kansas Mason one time, and then as things happen in Masonry, squirreled away. So I will try to get back with him on that, because there is a story to be had there about that, because I know there was some trials and tribulations going through to get the pattern that was unique to Kansas. And he was proudly wearing it. I believe that's what he was wearing yesterday. I wasn't looking at his kilt yesterday, but he was just, I was so proud of him. He just, and I mean, that's what they wear, but it's just like, because he's a brother, it just made it that much more special for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's fantastic, man. I'm glad that that went over well for you guys. And it's always good to hear that, fellow brothers are intertwined in the happenings around Kansas.
Yeah. And Rob has moved on from the academy, and they're still doing what he did because they love it so much. And what's funny, and I called him afterwards, I don't think they've changed the script at all, which is just a testament to how we do things sometimes, I think. But
absolutely,
very proud to be a part of that with Kelly and everything that's going on out there in middle Kansas. So what's going on in your neck of the woods?
I feel like that happens in Masonry sometimes too. You get a good script and it's like, it went over really well last year. Let's just
yes,
do that again.
And the reality is, it's funny because when we have like table lodge events or of whatever style, you want to try something unique and you end up kind of using what other people have used.
Yeah.
But most people don't remember that's the same script we used last year. So it all works out.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of table lodge, I'd be amiss if I didn't throw in a shameless little plug here.
Okay.
We do have Masonicon, Kansas coming up very soon, right around the corner. And tied in with that is our famous table lodge, or festive board for the evening, I should say, because it is an open arrangement. So be festive board. But Kansas Masonicon, or Masonicon Kansas as it's known, is coming up fast. And we've made some really fun changes over the past several years. When we started out, there was a ticket price for everything, for the day, for the evening, flying in guys from all across the United States and beyond. And we've had visitors from just as far, if not farther, come in for this every year. Starting last year, we did an interesting little twist and said, okay, we've kind of gathered all the gear that we need, and we're able to keep our overhead fairly minimum. So if we can just get our local lodges to support us, we think we can actually make this free for all attendees. So we got this dual approach, kind of a triple approach, because everyone loves the festive board, right? The cannon fire toasts. So we have a day full packed of Masonic education. Try to do as good as we can, top shelf Masonic education, speakers coming in from all over, and you can even join us virtually. So there's really no excuse not to join in. But with the support, we're able to do this free now. So instead of charging the ticket price that some people weren't able to join in on, it's like, we want to offer that Masonic education to everybody. If you have an interest, just come on out. Because another part of it that really impacted me getting involved with Masonicons were kind of the family reunion aspect, if you will, seeing guys that you haven't seen in a while, but also not just Kansas guys. You get guys traveling in from all over, and that's really special to be a part of. So I encourage you guys, check us out, MasoniconKansas.com. Get your tickets. That's the one snag since we've gone free, is people don't want to register, but we do need to know if you're going to be there so we can, set up the event appropriately and make sure we have enough seating, especially for the dinner. The Festive Board dinner does have a ticket price to it, just because it is catered and all that. You get a custom glass every year, so make sure you get that as soon as you can, so we have a proper accounting. And yeah, I think it's going to be another great time. And everything beyond the event cost is going to a great cause. Scroll down here a little bit. We are trying to promote, preserve, and restore our Masonic legacy throughout the state of Kansas. And we're starting in Kansas City, Kansas. There's a Chapel Hill Memorial Garden Cemetery that has this epic Masonic section of their cemetery that's got an outdoor lodge room there.
And while it looks good in the picture there is, if we were to zoom in, it's another one of those trips we need to make. You could see the deterioration there. And this is a great project.
Absolutely.
And I know some people thought, we're going to raise a bazillion dollars at MasonicCon and we're going to get it fixed this year. This is going to be an ongoing project for several years. It is tens of thousands of dollars. And the reality is Kansas lodges that are helping sponsor MasonicCon, some of that goes to help pay the speaker fees, but the thing's free.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some of, the donations or this or that, the extra stuff that helps go to that. And then we go out and, with the cemetery folk and help restore some of that stuff. But this is a great project, great cemetery.
Absolutely. It's kind of one of those things, being the history nerd I am, that I see not just across our state, but all over. What the public gets to know of us is often what we see here. It's aged, it looks forgotten, it's crumbling, and that's their outside view of Masonry. Yeah. That's what they see. To be bluntly honest, that's what they see of a lot of our buildings as well. Yes. So kind of within this, we want that two bird, one stone approach. We're coming together for some really great Masonic education and fellowship, but with this cause that we're trying to restore this for years to come and have a positive view for those in the public to see Masonry and be like, they actually care about Masonry. So maybe this is something I want to look into, or they aren't, the crazies that we thought they were, that type of thing. So, hopefully we can come together and restore this. With the bids that we've got, it sounds like somewhere around the 10,000 range would repair it. Here's the issue, though. The longer we take to raise the funds, this is going to continue to deteriorate. Yep. And it's going to cost more. If we get to the point where it's got to be a full rebuild, then yeah, that's going to be a lot more money. So we're really hoping we can come together as brothers and restore this, and then hopefully move on to another one. I know we've got plenty of other spots around the state that we can preserve, promote, and restore that history for the public of Kansas.
Tell you what, I know, let's not do it next week, but over the next month or so, let's see if we can get some of our speakers on, just to give us a little
absolutely
hot shot preview of what they're going to be talking about for free,
right,
at MasonicCon. I think
that'd be great. We can definitely do that. And I heard a little pesky rumor that we might be getting a really great master of ceremonies back this year.
For the fifth one, it's going to be another great event, and I'm excited to be back. Unfortunately, I had to miss out last year, but I was forced, even though my wife was not feeling well and was telling me to go, the brothers at MasonicCon basically locked the doors on me to keep me out so I could stay home and put the family first. So
you're right where you needed to be, brother.
It was the right thing to do, and but I was able to watch virtually, just like you can. So,
absolutely.
So that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
And I'd also be amiss here talking about festive boards. I did see something over in the Kansas Freemasonry group. Let me throw this up. Our good brother Chris Neely is in the works of trying to plan some kind of a table lodge or festive board type event out there in Hayes, based around Oktoberfest, and looks like it may have a tie-in with the university there as well. And you've got some options here of what you want this theme to be, or you can be, I'm Darren Kellerman, stay classy.
There you go. Never
stops. So definitely hop over to the group and put your 2 cents in there, because it sounds like the brothers out there are trying to put together a great event. I know Hayes has done a couple of table lodges before that have turned out really well.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go out there just to.
Absolutely. I feel like that was a bit of planning there. They know what they're doing.
And Chris has done a lot of work to keep Hayes Lodge. There's a lot of great guys out in Hayes Lodge, and I presume it's going to be at the Lodge Hall. It's a beautiful, historic, huge lodge hall upstairs there in Hayes, in downtown Hayes. So maybe we need to have a carpool out to Hayes. I mean, that's
absolutely
from where we're at over here. That's a haul, but definitely worth it. Always worth it.
I know we do got another Kansas Masonic big event coming up. We have a Grand Lodge annual session right around the corner, do we not?
We do. The Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Kansas annual communication is coming up in about 3 weeks. And my registration is in. If you didn't get it in yet, you're going to be paying some late fees, but do it. As I understand it, the Grand Officers of Grand Lodge of Kansas AF and AM will be there. And it's going to be, as Grandmaster Johnny Eve says, it is a great time to be a Kansas Mason. And this is just another opportunity for us all to get together in this grand jurisdiction of Kansas. And I am looking forward to it. It's going to be in Lawrence this year, spread out over 3 days on a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And they've got some, of course, business to do. I'm excited to hear that. But I'm just excited to be with all my brothers here in Kansas. So big stuff going on there. And if you don't follow any Facebook pages, not saying to not follow AF and AM, because I mean that's where I'm a member, of course. But I need to join a Prince Hall Lodge. I really need to petition that.
I've wanted to as well.
Their grand IT department has been working their heinies off, and they are putting out some great stuff. And not that ours isn't. I mean, we do. AF and AM does great, but the Prince Hall Grand Lodge Grand IT department has stepped up their game in the past 6 to 12 months, and it is just amazing. Shout out to those brothers right there.
Absolutely.
And I know you've talked to them several times, Alex, and they're just awesome. They're awesome guys.
Yeah, doing great things for sure. And I know, you and me were on the publications committee for some time there, and we were the ones always griping about people not getting signed up in time.
Yeah.
I'm that guy this year. I said last time I was going to sign up and try to be there with you, and I failed. And I tried to go on there and sign up, and I wasn't able to. But I do see, like you said, they've got late registration here, so I'm going to have to pay the penalty, and I'm going to do my best to be there with you.
What's amazing is some guys just complain about that, and we have debated about that on the Grand Lodge AF&M side, and people just go nutso. I mean, it's not like we don't publicize it for months and months.
Right.
And then it shuts off, even if it's a week before, a day before. We say, hey, you're going to have to pay a $10 or $15 late fee. People go crazy. I mean, it's a planning thing. It's all about planning. Yeah. And especially if there's meals involved, there's extra costs there. But, it is what it is. It happens. I've been there many times. Somebody might tell you a story. I'm sure you wouldn't believe it. When I was Grand Master, I may have forgotten to register for the annual communication. I mean, it was, yeah.
That'd be kind of epic. You standing at the door. I need a ticket, sir.
So, luckily, Bloom at kansasmason.org saved me. So
there you go. Knew a guy.
We are coming down to the last 7 to 10 minutes here, brother, and we have not talked about what's coming up in Kansas Masonry this next week. And I know we got a thing from a brother today. Said he wanted to get some stuff on the trestle board. I see that it is on there. So thank you for sending that to us, and I got it on there today. And then I saw a thing from Garnett Lodge. They're doing a prospect night tomorrow. They're at Delphi in their new lodge building or new home there on the lake in Garnett. So they're having burgers and brats tomorrow at 6:30, and prospect night starting at 7:30. So all sorts of good stuff going on there.
Quick question on that, because I know you're on the whole publications deal or communication. Sorry. It looks like that was actually removed from the website. I'm not seeing the trestle board anymore. You know anything about that?
I do not know anything about it. I don't know. I will inquire as to that, because I know they're going to be loading up. Well, I thought they're going to be loading up some schools of instruction in the next couple of weeks. The ritualistic committee on the AF&M side is meeting either this weekend or Monday. And after that, there'll be some announcements about the ritualistic competition and schools of instruction. So I understand it. So, but I'm not. So I can log on there too. Nothing like doing it live.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking in here on the public Grand Lodge calendar. Doesn't look like we have anything on here before our next episode. Looks like day after our next episode, there is a COA meeting. So those guys are going to be doing us proud and putting the work in and make sure our jurisdiction keeps its wheels turning.
Well, I'm going to say you're fired. You're fired, Alex. I do see the trestle board calendar. You're fired.
Where are you seeing it?
Well, I'm looking at it right here. I'm not the tech guy. Last time I had the show, I wrecked it.
You're logged into the website?
Yeah. Let me see if I can share a screen here.
Yeah, I'll hop off. Let you hop on.
Yeah, let's see what we can do right there. There we go. Right there. Can you see that?
Hold on. I need to throw yours up. Yeah, there it is.
There it is right there. Basically, you've been banned. So maybe you don't pay your dues either.
Probably not the first time. Fair enough.
Oh, so yeah, coming up tomorrow, Prospect Night in Garnett. There is a study club at Gardner. On Friday, Hutch Reno 124 is having an evening study club. There is a Sunday study club at 4 o'clock at Salina. Talking about Kelly Long in Caledonia. If you haven't been to the Masonic Temple in a while, that is, I believe that the Caledonia room is on the bottom floor, I believe. So the top is really hot in the summer, but they have a nice arrangement set up down at the bottom of that Masonic Temple there. So not doing anything Sunday and you're around Salina, stop in for join the festivities and study club at Caledonia Lodge. And then
I need to do that. I've never been in that building. I've drove past and seen it, and that is one heck of an impressive building. I've never been inside.
Yeah, I talked to Kelly about it yesterday at lunch, and he said the people that took it over, they're not Masons, sold. Caledonia still rents the top floor and has the room on the bottom, but the elevator was a huge issue. And the lady that runs the building now did a lot of work, got some grants, and even worked with an elevator company. And my understanding is the elevator was not repaired, it was replaced. And
really?
So that's working. And I know in the Grand Lodge building, there have been some rumblings about if they'll be able to take annual communication back to Salina at some point in the next decade. And I think if things keep going well in Salina, that is a strong possibility. So things to think of there.
That would be kind of cool.
It really would be, Alex. For those guys that haven't been in the Masonic Temple building in Salina ever, you need to go out there. Even though it's not a Masonic specific building now, all that stuff is, a lot of it's still there. It's worth a visit.
Oh yeah.
It's just incredible.
It's absolutely massive.
It is.
We had drove by. I can't remember what we were out there for, but we ended up driving by. I got out and just kind of looked up, and it made me dizzy. It was so tall. I was like, holy cow. It is.
When you think of Masonic temples, that's it. It is just incredible. So go ahead.
We're getting towards the end here, but as you're talking about Masonic temples, I actually ran across something kind of cool today. And I don't know that I have a great way to share it full screen, but we'll do what we can here. There's no audio, but if you're a Mason or around the Topeka area, you may be familiar with our old Grand Lodge building right across the street from the state capitol.
Yeah.
Really impressive building. Actually started out as an old Victorian house that was a residence. The Grand Lodge bought it and used that as an office for some time. Actually built on a library museum on the backside of that house. And then shortly after ended up just raising the whole thing and building a brand new building that's still standing there today. And this is a no audio old video from probably the late 20s, 30s in Topeka. And it just does a quick flyby, but I thought this was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Let me, here we go. I may click it just a second short here. I'll go over to a screen saying, I think it's called Masonic Library on the
those streetcars. Oh, wow.
Right. And, I'm a people watcher, and especially with history, I get so caught up in that, seeing the types of cars driving by and stuff. So
that is, there it is. Wow. Look at that. Yeah. Those trees, the whole thing. That's amazing. That is amazing.
I thought that was pretty cool. It was just, a random little clip, but yeah, it definitely caught my attention. I thought it was pretty neat to see.
Yeah. Wow. And for those folks that haven't, if you don't have any pictures of your building anywhere, take them, please. The old Grand Lodge building, at some point, I'm forgetting the Grand Master had sent out the order to take pictures of the outside and the inside of the building, and we've really gotten away from that. And I know district deputies used to do that, but do it. Do it for your own self. Do it for your lodge. Do it for the history, for stuff just like that.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. And if you need help doing that, contact the Kansas Lodge of Research. They can come down. They'll even help do a video tour of your building to help archive that. So,
absolutely. You know what we got into there for a while, it's just hard to get across the United States, the state, but I'm gonna put this out there. So we started doing virtual tours like real estate. You can go in, click through, and actually walk through, because trying to preserve that history, I'm that guy. And it's like, well, it's great. Historically, we had the view from the altar east and the view of the front of the building.
Yeah.
But there's always so much more than that. Some buildings have multiple floors, etc. And I was like, 50 years from now, when these buildings are gone, what if you could still walk through it? And the first one we did was actually that Grand Lodge building there in Topeka. Sadly, we got there right at last minute, so everything was boxed up. But you do still have that opportunity to walk through that building and see what it was like in a Masonic fashion, which is pretty neat. In today's world, if you hop on Amazon, those cameras are dirt cheap anymore. I mean, respectively, I would encourage you guys, if we can't get to you with the Kansas Lodge of Research, get yourself a 360 camera and try to take those shots. Send them to us, and we're happy to stitch those together in our software for you. It's a lot easier to do it that way than getting across the state all the time. But try to preserve that before it's too late. You never know when buildings are going to get sold, when damage is going to get done. A lot of these buildings are really old. So,
wow. Well, that clip was a great way to end the show, Alex. I love the opening reel still. I watch it, and I see new pictures every time. That clip, that was a great bookend. So, guys, if you have something, send it to us. We'd love to get something on. And if you want to come on the show, just let Alex or I know, and we'd love to have you on as a guest on our show.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I guess until next Wednesday, back same day, same time.
Yes.
All right. Until then, see you later, brother.
Hey, brother.